My sister hurled a Christmas present at my 9-year-old son like he was a stray dog. A cheap, flimsy promo toy, while she strutted into the banquet hall wearing the designer dress I paid for. Then she sneered, loud enough for the whole room to hear. Poor kids only deserve cheap gifts. She thought she'd humiliated us. She had no idea I was seconds away from destroying her entire life, with one tap on my phone. If you've ever tasted the sweet justice of standing up for yourself, hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you believe entitlement deserves consequences. And drop a comment if you've ever cut off a toxic family member. Because this is the story of how I finally reclaimed my life. The crystal chandeliers above the rented banquet hall in downtown Ohio glittered like sheets of ice. Fitting, considering the emotional frostbite that always came with spending holidays with my family. My name is Claudia. I'm 34 years old, and this was the night I finally realized just how deeply my own family had carved into my self-worth. We were all waiting an hour, exactly, for my older sister, Sylvia, the golden child, the self-appointed goddess of our family, the one who never apologized, because in her mind, she never did anything wrong. When she finally arrived, the room shifted the way it does when a storm rolls in. She floated past our relatives in the dress I had bought, $600 on clearance, but she never knew the difference.
She didn't look at me.
Didn't greet a single person. But she did look at my son, Levi. He stood by the Christmas tree holding a handmade ornament he'd been excited to show her. Sylvia didn't walk toward him. She didn't kneel down like a loving aunt. She threw the gift across the room, like she was feeding scraps to a begging animal. The package hit the floor at his feet.
People gasped.
Conversations died mid-sentence. Levi bent down, small fingers trembling, and unwrapped the paper. A cheap plastic toy. Something that looked like it came free with a gas station kid's meal. Sylvia laughed, shrill, sharp, cruel. Poor kids only deserve cheap gifts. Maybe when your mom gets a real job, you'll get real toys. You know that feeling where rage burns so hot it becomes cold? That was me.
I didn't yell.
I didn't cry. I didn't give her that victory. Instead, I reached for my clutch. If Sylvia wanted to humiliate us publicly, then she'd chosen the wrong battlefield because I held every single card. Financially. Literally. 6 years of financial support. 6 years of excuses. 6 years of being the walking ATM she depended on. My thumb hovered over the banking app. Every tap felt like shedding a decade of manipulation. I opened the card management screen, saw her name glowing like a parasite, and hit remove user.
No hesitation.
No second thoughts. 10 seconds later, her phone chimed. She pulled it out lazily, but then her expression snapped from boredom to horror. What? The card got suspended. She looked at me like I had committed treason. My father rushed toward me, face red enough to match the holiday table linens. That's enough, Claudia.
Keep the peace.
Don't ruin Christmas over a joke. A joke. My child's pain. A joke. I yanked my arm out of his grip. Then I held up my phone and turned the screen toward the room. If they wanted peace, they should have given it to me years ago. I scrolled through Sylvia's charges and let my voice carry across the hall. Spa treatment, $400. Designer handbag, $2,500.
Fine dining, 600.
She spent $4,500 of my money this month alone. And she bought my son a $5 toy.
Gasps.
Whispers. A ripple of disgust. Sylvia's chin shot up, her pride flailing for air. I needed those things for my image. You have plenty of money. Why are you so stingy? Stingy. After 6 years of cleaning up her messes, there was nothing left to say. I looked at my husband, Vincent, who was already helping Levi into his coat. We walked out to the sound of Sylvia screaming about her declined card. The sound of her world cracking open behind us was the most peaceful noise I'd heard in years. 20 minutes later, the heater hummed inside the car. Levi stared out the window, clutching that cheap toy like he was trying to understand why someone who shared his blood had so much hate in her heart. Vincent reached back, squeezed his knee. That gift says everything about her, and nothing about you." Tears slid silently down Levi's cheeks. And suddenly I couldn't breathe. Because this wasn't just about Sylvia. It was about 6 years ago, when she showed up with suitcases and a sob story. When my parents begged me to help. When I added her as an authorized user for emergencies. And every time I questioned her spending, my parents said, "She's struggling. Keep the peace. Don't upset your sister." Somewhere along the line, I became the family's financial life support. Never appreciated. Never respected. Never loved, unless I was paying. I whispered to Vincent. I thought if I paid for everything, they'd finally treat us with respect. I was wrong. He took my hand. "They don't love you, Claudia. They love what you provide. And it ends tonight." I watched my sleeping son and knew he deserved a mother who protected him. Even from family. Especially from family. 2 days later, the drama evolved like a disease. Jessica, my best friend, sent me a screenshot. Sylvia had made a long, tear-soaked Facebook post painting herself as a struggling single mother abandoned by her wealthy sister who left her to starve. The comments were brutal. How heartless can someone be? Family should never turn their back. Praying for you, Queen. I barely finished reading when Sylvia called. I hit speaker and opened the recorder on my laptop. Her voice was venom. "Turn the card back on, or I'll tell everyone you stole Mom and Dad's inheritance. I'll ruin you, Claudia. I swear to God." Vincent looked at me like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. I kept my voice calm, ice cold. "Go ahead. Post whatever you want. I have 6 years of bank statements proving exactly who's been stealing from who." Silence. Real, heavy silence. She knew I wasn't bluffing. I ended the call and saved the file under legal evidence. Vincent exhaled. "We need a lawyer. This is extortion." He was right. This wasn't family drama anymore. This was war. New Year's Eve. 2 days before I planned to celebrate a Sylvia-free future. Then, banging on the door. Aggressive. Desperate. I opened it to find my parents. Older. Exhausted. And furious. They pushed inside without waiting. My father began pacing like a man possessed. They admitted they'd drained their retirement savings. Because Sylvia told them she was starving. My mother sobbed. She threatened to leave the state if we didn't help her. She's all alone. Then my father delivered the ultimate blow. Her credit card bill is $15,000. It's in your name. So pay it. Do it for the family. I stared at him. At the man who raised me. At someone who saw me not as his daughter, but as a solution. I stepped forward. My voice was calm. Deadly calm. "I will resolve this with the bank. But I will not ever pay another cent for Sylvia." My mother shrieked like I'd stabbed her. "How can you be so cruel? She'll lose her car." I opened the front door. "She's losing her car because she refuses to work. And you're losing your daughter because you refuse to stop enabling her. Please leave." Vincent's presence behind me was enough to end the argument. My parents left into the cold. I locked the door. And something inside me finally clicked into place. Freedom. A week later, the polished marble floors of my office echoed with screaming. I looked up. There she was.
Sylvia.
Sweatpants. Stained coat. Hair matted in a messy bun.
Her facade had collapsed.
She shoved past reception and pointed at my office like a madwoman. "My sister is a thief. She stole my money." Security approached, but she fought them like a cornered animal. Police were called. When the officers arrived, she tried flipping into victim mode. "I'm just trying to get what's mine. She's harassing me." I stepped forward, silent. I hit play on the recording of her extortion threat. The lobby went silent. The officers listened, then looked at her. Handcuffs came out. "Ma'am, you're being detained for trespassing and disorderly conduct." Her face, pure betrayal, pure disbelief, as they led her away, past my coworkers. That moment didn't bring me joy, but it brought closure. 3 weeks later, I sat at my desk with a coffee and started canceling everything. My parents' phone lines, their car insurance, streaming services, subscription boxes, automatic bill payments, they'd slipped onto my account over the years. Each cancellation felt like ripping off another parasite. Then came the notification. Sylvia's luxury car had been repossessed. Not my problem anymore. Vincent placed a hand on my shoulder. Once you cancel all this, there's no going back. I smiled.
Good.
I don't want to go back. By spring, my parents had sold their boat and antiques to cover their debts. Sylvia was working drive-through at a fast food place. Poetic, considering how she treated service workers. Meanwhile, my home felt peaceful. For Levi's 10th birthday, we threw a backyard party.
Simple. Happy.
Full of people who loved him for him. As he blew out his candles, surrounded by friends, I realized. This, the laughter, the peace, the freedom, was the life we deserved. And we had it now because I finally chose us over them. Walking away from toxic family isn't cruelty, it's survival. Blood doesn't entitle anyone to your money, your energy, or your peace. Respect is earned, not inherited. If this story gave you strength, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories where justice isn't just served, it's delivered with precision. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Your story might help someone find the courage to break free.